Where them Catholics at? Yeah. Yo, where them Catholics at? Man, what's the matter with these bishops?
Hey, welcome back. It's the Catholic Convert Show. And it's Thursday, which means today's probably the last day of the week that we're going to do this show. Because about this time tomorrow, I'm going to be chasing a priest with a super soaker and throwing water balloons at my kids. So we probably won't be doing a show tomorrow. It's all right. However, because we're not going to do the show tomorrow, and I'm just going to be overly busy. Ed won't, but he's not very tech savvy, so he can't operate this in any of the systems without me. And he's just going to be sitting around doing nothing, scowling out the window at all those kids on his lawn. I decided, and Ed doesn't even know this yet. However, I am changing up something for the show today. Normally, come on, we start talking and that just flows kind of organically into a topic that we just got to spitball back and forth until we get towards the end of the show. Ed brings something out of his creepy basement. It's usually something really friggin' cool, and I'm not always confident in asking how he acquired it. You know, like actual papal documents and things like that. You know, he's got human remains, aka relics, you know, those pagan things that us Catholics like to venerate and carry around all day. But I'm going to switch it up today. I'm going to test Sir Edward. Because listen, we know he's 946 years old. We know he's a cradle Catholic.
Give or take.
We know he's bi-ritual, meaning he'll attend a Byzantine rite, he'll attend a Latin rite, and every now and then he'll just be like, you know what? I'll do both in one day because the masses are at different times. And he's always teaching at both. So you would figure a man of his age and experience would know quite a bit about the Catholic faith. So I came up with this probably an hour ago. Gonna throw it on him. We're gonna do some Catholic trivia. And I'll tell you what, I've got about 50 questions. I doubt we will get to all 50 of them. Okay. Because look, I didn't make this easy for you. Okay. But I'll tell you what, if you get more right than you get wrong, I will double what you make on the show now.
Nice.
I will double the nothing that you get paid. All right.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So are you ready? And I might I'm gonna throw you like some super soft curveballs. You know, they're gonna be a little tricky, but they're not really all that.
Well, I hope so.
Well, you know, it's not like I'm treating you like I'm Nolan Ryan over here and you just hit me in the face and I'm ready to get revenge. We're not going to do that yet. But are you ready, brother?
Can I phone a friend?
No, because you don't have any.
Yeah, I guess. Let's do it.
Well, you could call Vinny. We would never
that
get
was
through
a
like
trick
3
question.
questions. We would never get
yeah.
through like 3 questions if Vinny was on. It would just
we'd get into somehow
sausage
we'd get into a story about his grandmother's meatballs. And exactly, that'd be it. Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead.
Right.
Let's see what's
All
up.
right. So, question number 1. What historical event led to the Avignon papacy? And now, if you don't know what the Avignon papacy is, for people who don't know, it is the relocation of the papacy from Rome to Avignon in France.
In France, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very significant event. Very significant in the history of the Catholic Church. And that was because some bad stuff was going down in Rome at the time. And
not Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. I don't know anything about Avignon,
Okay.
France, other than
Well,
that the papacy was temporarily located there.
Yeah. The reason why is because there was a conflict between Pope Boniface VIII and King Philip IV of France. So what it was there was this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Elementary school stuff here we're talking about. Yeah, there was a power struggle between the papacy and the French crown, and it reached its peak under Boniface VIII. And he had issued the Unum Sanctum bull asserting papal supremacy. But after Boniface's death, Philip then manipulated the election of a French pope, which they actually later referred to the Avignon papacy as the Babylonian captivity of the church. So,
very true.
Seeing as how you were there, I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Well, my memory's starting to slip.
Well, yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay. This one, it's a question about your absolute favorite people in the church.
Yeah. My favorite
question is about a saint. And the question's about a saint. So which saint is known for founding the Jesuit order? And I'll give you multiple choices here.
It's St. Ignatius Loyola.
Oh, he didn't even need that. Look at that. Ding, ding, ding. See,
I love these.
You are not as think as I were.
Exactly. And they are actually officially they are the Society of Jesus.
Yes, that's correct. All right.
Yes.
Now let's switch to the one section of Catholic trivia that us Catholics are very weak in: Scripture.
Oh.
Yeah, we're very weak in that. And this is going to be an easy one. We'll ease into it a little bit. Which Old Testament book is quoted most frequently in the New Testament?
Oh, quoted most frequently in the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because I mean, from the cross, Christ quoted Psalm 22. But which Old Testament book is quoted most frequently?
In the New Testament.
Yes. That is a very good question. That is one that I think we should open that one up to our listeners. I think we should open that one up to our listeners.
So you're not going to be able to answer that.
I have no idea which one would be most quoted.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, you were on the right track because it is the Book of Psalms. The Book of Psalms.
I thought it probably was.
It actually absolutely is.
Yeah.
Because look, just about everything in the Book of Psalms expresses themes of messianic fulfillment, suffering, divine justice, especially when those are related to the context of Jesus's life. And it does reflect a very central role in the ancient part of the faith prior, in the Old Covenant. So, yeah, you were on the right track. I'll tell you what, I'll give you that one because I don't want you to miss out on that awesome pay raise.
Well, I'll take a half a point. I'll take a half point because I was gonna eventually settle down and say it's likely Psalms, but I did not know that for a fact. I would say, but then I was running through my head various times the Old Testament was quoted, and I kept coming up with Psalms. But there, half a point.
Okay. You are at 1.5 points. I'm not you know what? Let me keep track. I got a whiteboard. I'm not gonna do that. Oh.
Yes.
All right. Next question. This one might be a little deeper. What biblical book contains the prayer
Yeah.
of Hannah, which mirrors the Magnificat of Mary in its themes? Now, Hannah's
that's a very good
prayer
one.
of thanksgiving for the birth of her son, Samuel, it shares similar themes of joy, deliverance, and the reversal of fortune that is similar in Mary's Magnificat, found in Luke 1, because they both highlight the intervention and the lifting of the lowly and the fulfilling of the hungry and all good things, while sending the rich and powerful away empty. So which book has Hannah's prayer of thanksgiving?
I believe it is in the book of Samuel.
Which Samuel?
She's not gonna say it's in First Samuel.
Ding, ding, ding. You know, I need a dinger on my soundboard. You know, I have a boo.
Well, you're not
on
gonna be
the
dinging it very
soundboard,
often.
but I don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
what am I? I'm 2.5 out of 4, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, you're 2.5 right now. Okay, now this one, it's Catholic trivia, but it's not related to saints. It's not related to scripture. It's more, how do I say it? It's more legalistic. Okay. So
Oh boy.
the question is, what role did the Lateran Treaty play in modern Vatican history? And it was signed in
Role of
1929
Lateran
between
Treaty.
the Holy See and Italy. It resolved the Roman question. So the question is, what did the Lateran Treaty do?
Recognized the Vatican City as a independent, like a sovereign, whatever, right? Yeah, because I'm
Bingo.
thinking 1929, prior, post World War I, prior to World War II, and yeah, and then it was after the dissolution of the Papal States and blah blah blah, which was in 1870-ish, 1890, I think. So okay, yeah, it established
the
Vatican
unification
City
of Italy. The unification of Italy took place in 1870, and that's when the papacy lost all the temporal power. And then the treaty recognized the sovereignty of the Holy See in Vatican City, which then gave it its independent political entity and neutral status. So now it became its own country 95 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a good run. I was there for the signing.
I figured. Yeah, I figured you were the guy who delivered the paper. Oh. All right. Now let's make some Protestants kind of mad. We've talked about the council.
I'm good at that.
We've talked about the Council of Ephesus several times on the show, at least things relating to the Council of Ephesus. So the Council of Ephesus was in 431 AD, and it was convened primarily to address which heresy?
Trying to think of, and what year was that again?
431 AD.
Oh, it would have been the.
I believe Casablanca was playing in theaters at that time.
I think it would have been the Nestorian heresy.
Yes, it was. Ding, 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 ding. And the Nestorian heresy questioned the nature of Christ and his relationship to God. And it affirmed Mary as the God bearer, or Theotokos.
Mm-hmm.
And it solidified the doctrine of the divine motherhood of Mary, emphasizing the unity of the divine and human natures in Christ. you're not so bad at this. I thought you'd be a lot worse.
We'll see.
Yeah, 'cause
And usually I am.
Normally I
Yeah.
set my
Because here's the thing,
expectations
like,
on the
my
floor.
where I'm concerned.
Well, not
No,
you
'cause
personally, but where
well,
anyone's
it's a long story.
concerned.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to go.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to give you some true or false questions. Make things a little bit easier. Okay. We're going to start off. This one is,
well,
these are all about
yeah,
saints.
okay.
These are all about saints, by the way.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
number one, Saint Francis of Assisi is known for creating the first Christmas nativity scene. True or false?
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding. All right. You're up to like, I don't even know, 4.5, 5.5 points now. You're doing, you're
6.5
doing really
out of
well.
8, I think. Yeah.
Okay. 6.5. I'm not counting. There's no purpose to this except to kill an hour and hopefully keep people entertained. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Also, true or false?
True or false?
Saint Patrick used a 4-leaf clover to explain the Holy Trinity.
Well, no, he did not, because there's 3 members of the Trinity, not 4.
I was hoping I would trip you
That'd be
up on
false.
that because he did use a shamrock, which is 3 leaves. Okay. All right. I was hoping I would trip you up. Senility is not all the way in there.
No, it's working its way, but
all right, here's another one from the Saints, true or false. Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton was the first American-born canonized saint, and she converted from Judaism. True or false?
that is all true.
Wrong. Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton was the first American-born canonized saint.
Well,
but
Mother
she
Ann
converted
Seton,
from
Elizabeth Ann Seton. I know that
she converted from
a wealthy
Anglicanism.
family.
Yeah. She
Okay.
converted from Anglicanism.
Well, see, the things I only care about them after they convert.
Right. You were thinking about Therese Benedicta of the Cross. Good old Edith Stein converted from Judaism. That's where you were thinking. All right.
That's actually.
Let's see.
I was, and I should know that because I've quoted her in one of my articles. So
Didn't
what else
you
you
say
got?
you had an Saint Anne Seton church near you somewhere as well?
Well, I don't know if I ever said that, but her shrine is not all that far away from me.
That might have been what you said.
Outside of Philadelphia. Yeah. But I didn't think she converted from Judaism, but I figured, what the heck? Because I knew the first part of the question was correct.
Yeah, the first part, because you screwed up my other trick question, I had to give you another one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And I didn't think there'd be 2 trick questions in a row.
Yeah, I just wanted to do that sound effect. Right, that's really all it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
next question. This one's about scripture yet again. So which prophet?
Oh boy.
Which prophet is traditionally known as the weeping prophet due to his expressions of sorrow over his people's sins?
Oh. Jeremiah, I think.
Right again. See that? Here I thought I was going to be able to throw you off your game just by getting, really in there in
Well,
surprising you with doing this at all. And you know what? You managed so far.
well, because the only reason that popped into my head is because I did a Bible study on the prophets about a year ago. So, and of course, Jeremiah
Makes sense.
factored prominently in there.
Right. Okay. So you're a cheater. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, here's one. Here's one. This is a little more inside Catholic baseball, but it is I'm going to call this one advanced difficulty.
Oh,
What
boy.
principle? Oh, yeah. What principle did the doctrine of extra ecclesiam nullus salus assert in early church theology?
The what of the what now?
The doctrine of ex ecclesiam nulla salus. What did it state early in church theology? I'll give you a hint. It was rooted in the church father writings, especially, or more notably, Cyprian of Carthage.
Cyprian of Carthage. He was a good dude.
Great at pickleball.
Give me give me a time frame on this. Oh, like the end of the 3rd century, give or take, middle of the 3rd century.
It was, well, I would say 3rd to 5th century, just because of it existed well up until Vatican II before it was nuanced.
So Carthage.
Extra ecclesiam nulla salus. Makes a lot of people mad.
Okay, I was trying to figure. I'm trying to think of it.
I'll give you another hint. I'll tell you what. It makes anybody who's not Catholic angry.
Makes anyone who's not so then it has something to do with either the the Eucharist or Mary. I think am I on to anything?
You are not. You're on something, but it's not the right track.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, no idea.
The correct answer is that it asserts that outside of the church there is no salvation. If you knew better Latin,
no
you would know that. Extra nulla ecclesiam nulla salus. Really, more of it was a test of your Latin language skills than anything else.
Yeah, well, Veni Vidi Vici. That's about all I got for you.
Sounds about right.
Dum spero. While I breathe, I hope.
When you breathe, you hope. Yeah,
that's about all I got on Latin. Yeah, I love that one. And of course, E pluribus unum.
Yeah,
of many one.
Of many one. Makes sense. Would that? I don't know if you could technically
that has nothing
reverse
to do with Cyprian.
I wonder if you could switch E unum pluribus and it would loosely apply to the Trinity of one many.
Oh, look at that. Very loosely. Almost not at all. What else we got? Because now
almost not at all.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to move forward in history now. Which pope first called for the new evangelization, and what was its focus?
Well, so it's going to be somebody probably in the 19th or 20th century.
Correct.
I would think. And I would say it was probably someone within my lifetime.
Correct.
And I would say it was probably Pope John Paul II.
Ding, ding, ding. Now, what was its focus?
Oh, what was the focus?
Yeah, what was the focus of the new evangelization in the late 20th century?
Well, I mean, to deepen our faith, deepen our understanding of the Gospels. What was the focus?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we'll go ahead. Well, go ahead. I was going to say, we go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah.
The focus was on rekindling faith through modern means of communication and renewed pastoral efforts. This is like the budding area, or the budding era of getting into, like, you know, advancing and the normalization of computer technologies. Because, I mean, think about it. When YouTube first came out, what was that, in like 2005 or something like that? I highly doubt priests were like, I got to get on that. But using modern means of communication and renewed pastoral efforts to re-evangelize regions of the world that were traditionally Christian, but had experienced a decline in practice and belief. So that's what the focus of the new evangelization was. You know, while we're on the subject of JP2, I heard a really awesome story about him the other day, and it kind of reminded me of some of the stuff that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the world's worst president, Woodrow Wilson, used to kind of pull. Wilson was a prankster and basically a large man child, because he would be in the Oval Office and he would scream, "Help, help, help, help," and then he would hide. He would open the door, like, to the exterior of the White House, and then hide under his desk.
Yeah.
So the Secret Service would come running in there, and he's under there giggling like a child. And the Secret Service thought he'd been kidnapped or something like that. It's kind of stupid, right?
Yeah.
Oh, not. I mean, I would obviously do that like 8 times a day as president.
Yeah.
But the story I heard of JP2 was, I mean, look, we all know JP2 was like, he was like the Hollywood Pope, right? He was very charismatic. He was a handsome man. He was virile. He was, he was spry. You know what I mean? So, and the other day I saw a story that Pope Francis left the Vatican, did his thing. He was like, I'm going to run errands. And he went to the optometrist. Like, if I was Pope, and I miss doing normal things like going to a restaurant. I want to go to a restaurant. I want to go to a movie. No. He wanted to go to the optometrist. That's on the bottom of all the lists of things that I would want to do. But JP2, woo-wee, optometrist trips really fire me up. But no, JP2, he had a driver that he would tell his driver, put on some regular clothes, bring your private vehicle over to this entrance or
smart.
whatever, and I will meet you. And then Pope John Paul II would get into the guy's car, and they would drive for about an hour and a half outside of Italy to the ski slopes, and they would go skiing for several hours before he smuggled himself, before they came back, and he smuggled himself back into the Vatican. And it worked for a while. It became like a regular thing, but it was ruined because, funny enough, Pope John Paul II was a very good skier, but it got ruined because the way the story goes was he had finally finished coming, excuse me, he had finally finished coming down the slope, and he's like, great run. And he reaches up and he takes his goggles off, and there's like a 10-year-old kid there, and he goes, hey, you're the Pope. And he's like, kid, shut up. Like, go over there, shut up. But obviously the kid, I'm pretty sure Pope John Paul II didn't tell the 10-year-old kid to shut up. He was like, shh, don't say nothing.
Don't shut up. No.
Hey, shut up, kid. You're going to ruin it. You got to be like Lenny of my. He's going to be like, hey, come over here. Come over here and be like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Be quiet. Be quiet. Headlock the kid. He did not do that.
Probably. He didn't?
No, he did not do that. But that ruined it. That ruined it. So he would go out incognito. It's not like he was, going out in skiing in a chastable or anything. He's got like the hoodie. He looks like DB Cooper. He's got the hoodie, the sunglasses, the whole thing, sneaking up to the ski slopes. Well, when they found out that he was doing it because he got caught, the Vatican said, well, he's going to keep doing it because he said he was going to keep doing it. But now we're going to make it official. And they made him an all-white papal ski suit. So he didn't want to attract attention to himself. But I thought that would look. I mean, there's no law that says the Pope has to wear white. It's just a custom. It's tradition, right? But I did think of something.
Sure.
JPII was our Pope in modern times that survived an assassination attempt, right? And one of the obvious things was like, after that's when you started seeing the Pope mobile with the bulletproof glass and all those things. Prior to that, he's riding around, waving, doing a thing in the drop top. When I think about the Pope skiing, and then I think about, his safety is obviously a concern, which is why we have the Swiss Guard, the funny dressed assassins that protect him from everyone.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you say, you know what? Let's get the Holy Father barreling down a double black diamond slope in all white, so that if he goes down or something happens, we can't find him. But if he goes down and he gets buried in the snow, you get the Vatican Guard up there running around playing Marco Polo, trying to find the Holy Father. I don't know what they were thinking. I know, like, is he a cardinal? Like, put him in orange, red, something, but all white. They made him an all white ski suit and had him barreling down a double black diamond. You can't find him. Like, that's terrible survival tips. Like, for somebody who was supposed to be looking after the Pope's well-being, that was a terrible idea. But I thought that was pretty funny.
There's all sorts of it's good stuff. There's all sorts of stories about him and how they used to lose him all the time. And I was talking to a priest one time who was at a seminary not very far from here on the Pope's visit to the U.S., Pope John Paul II. And he says that this rumor about him is true because he saw what happened was that sometimes he would be somewhere, anywhere in the world, it didn't really matter, and he would somehow slip away, he would disappear. He'd go down a hallway, no one would see him for a few minutes. They freaked out, frantically looking for him. but they kind of eventually figured out where to look for him because he had such a connection with the Eucharist that he could sense if there was an adoration chapel anywhere near him, or if he was on the site of a seminary or a cathedral or whatever. He could sense that if there was an adoration chapel, and he would make a beeline towards it, and they would find him in that chapel, prostrate on the ground in front of the Blessed Sacrament. But how he would sneak away? I mean, he's the Pope. How are people not looking after him all the time? But
he's the only guy dressed like a giant marshmallow, and somehow you lose him in a crowd of people wearing like black and navy suits.
They lose him.
It's like the easiest game of Where's
would just
Waldo
say to somebody,
"Where's
Waldo?
Where's the easiest game
but
ever?"
If they lost sight of him, they would just ask
JP?
somebody who was from there. Yeah, they would just say, "Where's the nearest adoration chapel?" And they would go running down there, and they'd find him there. So it was easy enough to find him, but a little spooky for a few minutes, I'm sure. But there you go. Yeah, that's the kind of guy he was.
Like I said, well, at least he wasn't like hiding under the desk. You know, he didn't pull a Wilson.
No, he wasn't hiding under the desk. No, he didn't pull a Wilson.
No. I really hate that guy.
If I was president, what I would do is when they brought in my meals and stuff, I would pretend that the stuff was poisoned. I'd go,
oh yeah,
and drop to the floor and see
every single time. I would be so bruised
up
from like banging my face on the Resolute desk.
Exactly, which is such a cool name for a desk, by the way.
It is. You know, I want to be able to actually see the entire twin set, go up there to Buckingham, see the other desk, and then the one at the Oval Office, because it does have a twin.
Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah,
all right, we got time.
That would be cool.
Still, we've got time still for like 2 more questions before we go on to see what we brought. What you brought, not we, because I'm not there. What you brought. Out of
you're here in spirit.
Yeah.
So hit me. What do you got?
All right, I'm gonna hit you. This was gonna be fairly easy, so we might have time for 3. Which saint? Whoa. Yeah, which saint famously converted to Christianity after hearing a child's voice tell him to pick up and read, leading him to change his ways and ultimately become a bishop?
Pick up and read?
Pick up and read. It led to him changing his ways and ultimately becoming a bishop. I will give you 4 choices.
There's one name that comes to mind immediately, but okay, then I'll get it.
We have Saint Ambrose, Saint Jerome, Saint Augustine. Bam, you nailed it. Because the other was going to be Gregory the Great.
It's probably Saint Augustine.
It was Saint Augustine of Hippo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I know. I go to Saint Gregory the Great Church, and I know it's not him.
It would have been like, no, it wasn't him. All right. Told you that one was going to be fairly easy. Now this one.
Yeah.
This one makes a lot of people angry. What clause in the Nicene Creed caused the considerable conflict between the Western and the Eastern Church that contributed to the Great Schism in 1054?
Probably because of the Filioque.
Bingo! Look at you. I really laid on all the hints on that one with
because
the schism.
well, because that I know because well, no, that one because if you're a Byzantine Catholic, you know about you know all about that.
Right. I figured you'd get a lot more of these than someone else would, simply because, you know, Byzantine Catholic, and you've attend Eastern Rite as well. You do a lot of CCD. So, I mean, come on, you're supposed to know your stuff, bro.
You know, the whole true God of true God. Because we don't have that. We have, you know, you guys mentioned 3 things there. We mentioned 2.
Yeah, exactly.
God from true God. Yeah, we say, well, if it's true God from true God, why do you also need to say God? You know, it's very complicated, but both are acceptable.
You know what it was? You know what it was, right? It was a bunch of dudes in fedoras going, well, actually, and then playing semantics games.
Did they wear fedoras at the Council of Nicaea?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen it painted in a couple of Caravaggios.
You did. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Now, I'm not going to give you this question because you would answer it. Well, the question was going to be who's considered the first doctor of the church?
Wasn't that the point?
Well, no, like I'm saying, like you'd know this one right away. Like, do you know it right away? Because if you don't, I'm gonna like be confused. So, who was the first doctor of the church?
Well, then we better skip it then. The first doctor of the church. Now, when you say the first doctor of the church, you don't actually mean like a physician. You mean
no, I do not.
The first doctor of the church. Do you know how many female doctors in church there are?
I don't know. My question to you was, who is considered the first doctor of the church?
That would be Gregory the Great.
Exactly, because you go to St. Gregory the Great Church, which is why I was like, I'm not going to ask him this.
Exactly. So, yeah. All right. Well, but I bet you if you went to Mass at St. Gregory the Great this Sunday and asked people walking out who the first doctor of the church was, out of 1,000 people, there'd be 8 that knew that. So I'll give me a half a point for that one, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give you 2 since you already would have known it anyway.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. This is going to be a very hard one. It's also in very inside Catholic baseball, but it involves one of your favorite popes. What did the papal... Yes. What did the papal encyclical Rerum Novarum address?
Well, I'm trying to think that out because I'm trying to hit my
like you actually might have
trying to hit my Latin
in your basement.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I was gonna run downstairs. Can I run downstairs and see if I have that one?
We don't have time for that crap.
Yeah, that was Leo 13th.
Stop looking down like you're Googling.
Oh, I don't Google. No, it has to do with labor rights and things of that nature. Because Leo the 13th was very big on that, you know.
That is correct. It was it represented the church response to the church's social upheaval of the Industrial Revolution and the rise of socialism. And it advocated for the protection of workers' rights, their right to form unions, and the role of the government in social issues, where a lot of it they were overreaching at that time. And it was very significant in the development of the churches, or the way the church engages with modern societal problems, right? Because before, the Pope or the church as a whole would look at social issues and be like, y'all shouldn't do that. We'll pray for you. And they didn't really try to engage with it, talk with any of the leaders. It's not like they had a nuncio ambassador that was going to go over there and they had the ambassador, but they weren't going to like, hey, send him out there to go talk to this president, dictator, whatever, and go into that. But with this, it showed that the way they were growing, as far as how they would actually start engaging with modern societal problems worldwide, rather than just going, yeah, don't do that. It's not in the rules. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Yes, that was correct. It very much,
Leo, Leo
changed the way the church.
Leo the 13th, he was Leo the 13th was the last pope of the 19th century, as well as the first pope of the 20th century.
Yes.
I think he died in 1903. 1876 to 1903, if I'm remembering correctly. The 1903, I'm like 99% sure about. 1876, I might be off, but I don't think I am. But I think he was, definitely he died in 1903.
Correct.
I just remember that because it was the year I was born.
Was the year you were born. So, in recent history, do you happen to know who the Pope was that only lived as Pope for 33 days?
Well, I assume that would be Pope John Paul I.
Yes.
Would that be
correct? But you know what? Oh, yeah, it is correct. But you know what's a little known fact about John Paul I? Well, it's not, I wouldn't say little known, but most people don't realize it. John Paul I was the first Pope to ever use a dual name.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. And I
did not work out well.
I'm just waiting on it. Did not work that well, although it did give us JP2. Now we need a John the 24th with Cardinal Pizza Balla, because we can call him Papa John. That'll be awesome.
That would be nice. Talk about, you talk about Wilson and being a President Wilson, about being a jokester. John the 23rd was a big jokester, as I understand it.
Yeah, he was, and he's the only Pope that I know of that was used as a fictional mafia assassination plot in The Godfather Part 3.
Correct. Yes. Yes, I think that would be correct.
All right, we got 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the Catholic trivia round, because I did. We should do stuff like this more often. It was fun. And we got to learn a little bit. We got to teach a little bit. We got to laugh a little bit, which is the whole point of this. So what'd you bring out your basement there, Ed?
Well, as always, I did tease a bit on X this morning.
I didn't see it.
And you didn't see it. You ignore my tweets, which is probably a good thing to do.
Blocked.
But, I thought we were on a roll. Yeah, I'm blocked. we've been on a roll this week with documents, so I thought I would stick in that vein of doing things or whatever. So this is a really cool one. This is another one, really, really beautiful imagery on it. It looks really impressive. Really, I'm tilting it so that the glare doesn't get on so much. And it's kind of cool because if what you see there on the sides and on the bottom is basically all the sacraments represented. But what this is really cool. This is the first Holy Communion as well as confirmation of a young man named William Rumbach. And this is from 1914. So this is 110 years old. And it's kind of cool. It's from a church. It's from St. Anthony's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is not very far from me. And again, it's from 1914. He was confirmed on March 29th of that year. He received his first Holy Communion on April 19th of 1914. And kind of, this church was founded in 1870. And the pastor was Reverend Anthony Cale. And he was still the pastor when this guy received his sacraments there. And actually was pastor for another 20 years. The guy was pastor there for like 50 years, which is kind of cool. And that guy was, he was actually ordained a priest in 1869. And here he is, he's at that church and dishing out sacraments in 1914. So that's like 30, 40, yeah, that's like 40 years or so into his priestly duties. But I just thought this was really cool that this church, it's still there. It's a very active church, gorgeous church. I looked at pictures of it online. But this is, I mean, why aren't kids getting documents like this today when they're confirmed or when they receive their first Holy Communion? You know what I'm saying? This is impressive.
Absolutely.
This is something
like
you would remember.
The ones that I got, ones that I got from my parish when my daughter and my son were baptized, and my older son's baptism, confirmation, everything. They don't look anything like that. Now they're way better than just like the Kinko's piece of paper, whatever. Like ours are embossed. They've got the seal of the parish. They've got the nice, thick, whalebone American Psycho kind of cardstock to them. It's great. And it's the same as with the certificate of my and my wife's convalidation. We got to get frames for these, obviously, but we were just waiting to buy any picture frames for anything because we were like, all right, we got a whole lot of documents coming in. But no, I really wish we could get more of those. And I don't know if it's Eastern Catholic, but they're still in communion with Rome. There was one rite that I heard a rumor of, and I cannot confirm if it's true or not, but the confirmation, baptism certificates, all these things, they're given to you in like a scroll form.
Oh, nice.
With a wax seal on them. And I'm like, that would be dope.
That's cool.
And I'm pretty sure the material ain't cheap. It's probably like that fake leather that you could buy, or it might even be real leather. I don't know. The ones you could buy like squares of at places like Joann's and Hobby Lobby and whatever, but it's like $25 a piece. I would be more than okay getting my stuff on those.
Yeah.
That would be impressive.
Oh, yeah. It would be.
And I just want church documents to stop being sealed with like a notary public seal. We need to go back to wax seals.
Yeah, that would be
It's
cool.
all about the aesthetics.
It really is. I've actually, for several people that I know, for important birthdays or anniversaries or things like that, I've gotten them an apostolic blessing, from Rome. And when you get those are gorgeous. And then I have them professionally mounted and framed and give them to them as a gift for whichever event it is.
My birthday's in December.
They've always been very appreciated. Listen, I might be. Oh, you know what? And it would qualify because you're going to be 40, right?
No.
Because if you look into it, oh, you're not with 39.
I'll be 38.
38. You keep saying you're almost 40. 37 is not almost 40.
I'm past the halfway point, so it's all downhill from here.
I'll give you that. Well, okay, so you're gonna have to wait a couple years then.
I think
because
I'm gonna be 38. I don't know. I have to ask my wife. I might be 38 now.
You might be. But if you look at the because they'll tell you specifically what events qualify for an apostolic blessing. And so you can't get it for somebody's like 35th birthday, for instance. You know, it's usually the decade marks. I think 18 you can do it for. But then the same thing for like wedding anniversaries. You can do it for like the 20th, the 25th, the 50th, things like that. But if anyone's out there and you're thinking about getting something really special for a Catholic friend, see what event they have coming up as far as birthdays and anniversaries and things like that, and get them an apostolic blessing. It's something that would be cherished forever. I know that I have the one from my mom and dad when they got married, and that's actually a beautiful, beautiful document. So, anyway, something.
Well, would it be possible
mind.
for me? I didn't know anything about this. Would it be possible for me to just get one for mine and my wife's convalidation or mine and my wife's confirmation? Or does it have to be?
I will send you the information about that, how to acquire it. Oh, no. You can get it for yourself. You can definitely get it for yourself. But I'll send you the information, like, because there's a particular office at the Vatican that does these things, that runs these things. I don't remember the name of it offhand, but because they don't like advertise it, because I think they'd be overwhelmed.
I'm sure it wasn't like on the Vatican gift shop link or anything like that.
No, it's not. But the neat thing is,
click here to
if when you
go ahead and click here to involve yourself in simony.
Yeah, but when you fill out the form and order one of these bad boys, you get it pretty quickly, and you just fill out the form online, and then you promise that you're eventually going to send them money, and it comes DHL. That's because that's an international shipping agency, and then they send you a link where then you can send the money, which is kind of cool. But they don't want the money ahead of time, which is interesting.
Right. It's not selling.
They say wait till you receive it.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Oh, it's kind of like a donation.
It's a blessing, and you donate to the church. So I know it goes to, I mean, like it probably gets lumped in there into the $1.8 billion the Catholic Church disperses in charitable funds every year. So
probably. But
that money's got to come from somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, they can't keep sending that stuff out even the shipping was. Well, like when you receive it, you look at how much it costs for just to send it to you, and that was some money. So but it's a great gift. Like you said, everyone I've ever given one to has been very appreciative.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Did not know that.
See,
this has been one of the most educational. Yeah, do it. This has been one of the most educational shows we've ever done, because people learned a lot in the trivia. And this whole thing about the apostolic blessings, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know. So yeah, this one was cool, man.
It's really neat.
We're down to our last 60 seconds of the slot because I don't want to upgrade my StreamYard to be able to stream longer than 1 hour shows, just because I don't want to. So remind everyone, you will not see us tomorrow. And we'll be back on Monday. And don't worry, we're looking at getting some more guests on, and quite frankly, bringing some of our old guests back. So it'll be fun. But you guys enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. And most importantly, do not forget, as you're watching this on social media, retweet it and share it with as many non-Catholics as you can.
Absolutely.
Later,
God bless everybody. See you.